Hello, I am Joanne Thomas, and this is my action research for my master's. The title of my research was The Impact of Teacher and Student Transcription on Noticing Uptake and Self-Repair. My research questions were, in the middle school French classes, what is the impact of 3 different cycles of narration transcription tasks on learners noticing uptake and self-repair? How do students perceive teacher explicit recast, aka ER, transcription? How do students perceive peer and self-transcription as post tasks? This is a sample of public speaking for my 8th grade class. The student is here on the left, and she sees an image that she is describing, and on the right side of the board that she sees is a transcription, and I'm off to the side typing exactly what she says, and anytime I hear a mistake, I repair the mistake. So teacher repaired language chunks would be s'assied sur une roche, une veste rouge, and j'ai trouvé. This is regarding Cycle 1 data, language chunks noticed. I have some images on the right, and this is the base knowledge of what they know about these images, what they could say. And any deviation and or addition of the descriptions is considered a first time said language chunk for the student. This is an example of language chunks noticed. So on the top left, I have Nick, Mallory, and Beck. Those are the first 3 speakers of the scene. And then on the bottom right, I've got Kate, Reese, Grace, Dorothy, Henry, Julia, and Maddie. So those students heard Nick and Mallory and Beck speak, and if you notice, Nick said something that I underlined in red, aussi il y a une narratrice qui s'assied sur une roche. And then over here, Kate heard Nick speak, and she remembered it, and she said it when it was her time. Reese remembered it, and Reese said it. Grace did, and Dorothy did. Henry, Julia. So everyone heard Nick say that, and they remembered it. So that's called language chunk noticed. And Mallory, she said something, il porte un pullover jaune, il porte une veste. And then people like Reese and Dorothy and Henry and Julia and Maddie noticed it and said it again when it was their time to speak. There was a dramatic increase in chunks. So here C2, that means it's speaker 2 on day 2, and so 3 chunks were noticed. So it looks like Kate noticed something that Nick said, she noticed something that Mallory said, and then as I go down, you'll notice a big increase. So on speaker 3, day 3, Dorothy noticed 12 things that previous speakers said, and Maddie noticed 16. She was speaker 3 on day 4, and so she had heard close to maybe 10 speakers before her, and she remembered several things that other speakers said. In Cycle 1 data, there was a perception survey on anxiety, and the question was, how was your anxiety level during the public speaking? Most of them are green. And then, did your anxiety level / fear lessen after having spoken 3 times? The majority was, yes, it did lessen. What was it like for you to have Madame Thomas typing out what you said? So keep in mind, I did a live transcription. I typed out exactly what the student said, unless I heard an error, and then I repaired that error live. How did you feel about Madame Thomas capitalizing and highlighting her corrections on your transcript? That's called VIE, Visual Input Enhancement. And that was to promote noticing. So everything was positive, and then one person said, I felt she was calling me out. Final analysis, noteworthy students survey comments. It forced me to get better and helped me know what I needed to work on. It was good to put an emphasis on the mistakes so we could correct them. It was fine, but still I don't like seeing where I messed up in front of the class. So this is Cycle 3, self-transcription in Google Sheets. This is a bit different. Julia is recording herself speaking on these 2 images, and she is not reading anything. This is all from her head.
Sam tire la corde et Nico entre dans l'appartement. Sam pense que Nico est le porteur.
So this is called an unguided self-repair, and that means that I told her on 3-2, I see some errors in image 1, I see errors in image 2, and to find them. I didn't tell her where they were, I just told her that they existed and to find them. And again, she used DeepL, DEEPL.com, and she typed in DeepL in English what she meant to say. She looked at Diepel's French, she compared Diepel's French to her French, and then she made the repairs. And so her repairs are in red. Comments were, it was tricky, but once you found them, it was very satisfying. It was good to have us think more independently as opposed to only asking you. Thought it was helpful, but a lot more difficult. It was tricky, but actually sort of fun. Some questions would be, how did students do guided or unguided self-repair? So if I go to that, they're going to go to a website called Diepel, D-E-E-P-L, and they write in English, she writes in English what she meant to say. So he tells him that Sasha gave him a cushion, and then compares Diepel to what she said. So il dit que Sasha lui a donné un coussin. So she added the word que, she added lui a donné, and then she added the letter S on coussin. Thank you so much for your time. For more information, visit joethomas.org and scroll down to the bottom for conferences. Merci.